Have you ever wondered why it's day in one part of the world while it's night in another? Why, when you're brushing your teeth before bed, someone on the other side of the globe is just waking up and having breakfast? Well, it's all thanks to a clever system called time zones. Time zones are areas of the Earth that have the same standard time. They ensure that no matter where we are in the world, our clocks are somewhat in sync with the sun. The entire concept of time zones is like an invisible jigsaw puzzle spanning our globe, with each piece representing a different hour. Imagine you're standing at the North Pole, looking down at the Earth. You'll see a bunch of imaginary lines stretching from the North Pole to the South Pole. These lines are called longitude lines, and they're like invisible slices of a huge, round orange. Each slice represents a time zone. The starting point for these time zones is a place called the prime meridian, an imaginary line that runs from the North Pole to the South Pole, passing through Greenwich, England. This is the 0-degree longitude line, and it's where our time zone puzzle begins. As we move east or west from the Prime Minister, each slice or time zone represents a difference of 1 hour. So when it's 12 noon in Greenwich, England, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, one time zone to the east, and 11 in the morning, one time zone to the west. So why does this matter? Well, time zones help us make sense of time. They ensure that when it's midday, the sun is roughly in the middle of the sky, not setting or rising. This makes life a lot easier, especially when we want to do things like catch a flight or call a friend in another country. Without time zones, the time would be the same everywhere in the world. That might sound convenient, but it would mean that in some places, the sun would be at its highest point in the sky at midnight and it would be dark at noon. That would be very confusing, wouldn't it? But thanks to time zones, we can keep track of time in a way that makes sense with the natural world. When we travel, we adjust our watches to the local time zone, so we're in sync with the sun and everyone else around us. So, the next time you're wondering why it's time for bed when someone else is just starting their day, remember the invisible jigsaw puzzle of time zones that wraps around our Earth. It's a clever system that helps us all stay in sync, no matter where we are in the world. In conclusion, time zones are a brilliant way to organize time across our big, beautiful planet. They make sure that everyone's days and nights align with the sun, and they help us live our lives in a predictable and orderly way. Time zones may seem a little complicated, but once you understand them, you'll see they're a crucial part of our everyday lives.